Welcome everyone, Dr. Thor here. Get ready for Gnosis. Well, let's talk about transmuted electronics. Now, I've been using this for many years and have pioneered this, and of course, I'm the only one that knows how to transmute common electronics into high-level scalar units. And this, of course, is a great way to empower tools and get some really powerful, professionally made electronics without it costing a fortune. So because if you manufacture everything yourself and you build everything from the ground up, the cost would be prohibitive. And can you really make something as good as a professional Chinese factory that's been doing it for 20 or 30 years? No, you can't. And Chinese electronics are generally well-made products at unbelievably low costs. Their components and their internal components as well are all good quality to excellent quality. To spend thousands and thousands of dollars to get some quasi better part from some European manufacturer is a bogus path, because nothing coming from Europe is made very well, period. The only thing that is really well on it is the outrageous costs. Now, the actual Chinese, if you buy the right ones, they're beautifully made. Here's a very excellent tube amplifier. Very well made. It's got metal cabinets. It's got all the beautiful buttons. I've used these for years. They work well. It's got a nice heat sink on it. It has 7 tube amps. And of course, this one even has a conventional amp as well. What a beautiful unit. And these are reasonably priced. This is important to understand when you are involved in this. And, consumers don't really get this. And this is a real problem because they are ripped off by manufacturers that want to sell you little boxes of crap that they call computers for thousands and thousands of dollars that have mediocre to poor results. And they keep telling you how wonderful it works because it costs so much. This is the kind of crap that's on the market. You have to understand that I'm the expert in this field and have been for 40 years. I have written over 35 books, 5 courses. I was the first person to ever have a retail store selling radionic equipment for over 3 years. I've been on the Art Bell Show, the BBC, CNN, etc. No one comes close to my expertise, nor have they investigated, researched, engineered, and built machines like I have for the last 40 years. So you've got to understand that. I always find it amusing how the little pipsqueaks out there want to tell me some information that they think something, or criticize my tech when they know nothing about it. I'm the expert. Grow up and shut up and learn. We have a whole entire course on force energy physics called The Great Path, and you can purchase this course at our website. Our website can easily be found at the top of the YouTube page. You'll see the link there, which apparently a few people seem to get. You can find us at radionictech.com. And also, of course, support us on Patreon. Make sure you like, and if you're not a subscriber, you subscribe to this channel. This helps us continue our research, and research is time-consuming, difficult, and costly. So do keep that in mind. We have made major breakthroughs in the last year or two using learning how to grasp, contain, amplify, and use scalar energies, which is basically oftentimes called radionic energies. These are non-electromagnetic energy fields. And, of course, we have complete information on that. Now, what is transmuted electronics? Well, that means you take a common, to a certain degree. If you notice here, you'll see that all of my amplifiers are tube-based, because tubes are unique. They're fascinating. They're little machines unto themselves. And they pick up unusual energies that you don't get when you transistorize things, which brings everything down to the electromagnetic spectrum, while tubes allow a resonance, a scalar energy pickup, which anyone who knows anything about electronics and music knows about. That's why the music industry, anybody who's serious in listening to or making music, has converted over to using tube amplification and tube products in general. So this is all part of knowing what you're doing and getting results. Those people out there that are selling the same old crap that's been around literally for 100 years, which is regurgitated by certain individuals who don't know anything, and put out these non-electric or quasi-electric junk with tiny little amplifying chip in it, have no idea what they're doing. And it's just plain crap. And what happens with these units, which can sell for thousands of dollars, by the way? One of these stooges just came out with a 12 dial for $1,200 in a little $3 box you get at a craft store. And people are being ripped off for this. These units are strictly psychic tuners, as is a favorite in the industry, because it takes no skill or thinking. You get a box, usually a crappy one with big giant screws and other nonsense, and you put dials on there, connect wires to it, and you have a radionic machine. This was perpetrated by really a buffoonish idiot who never achieved anything in the psionic industry, and yet is now being pushed by this. But remember, the people on this person's team are all criminal Satanists, and they are self-avowed. This is not a comment I'm making. This is a reality, as was Carl Hans Wells, who was a noted Satanist his entire career, died young, and how nice that is. So did his family. Oops. So the whole idea is that that's what happens from these evil people that push demonics. Now, let's get back to the transmuted. Now, transmuted means taking the electric inside the unit and not making physical changes to the structure of it. Because once you start doing this, you cause all sorts of problematic functioning of the original electronics. So you don't want to go in there and tinker with it. You want the energy, the scalar waves, to penetrate the unit and be able to be used better. And the way you do this is everything to do with scalar, vibrational energy, homeopathy, etc. We're all dealing with energy fields. And these energy fields is what you are amplifying through a standard process. But you have to transmute the physical components at a subatomic level to do this. Now, how is that done? Now, my process, of course, is only known to me, and only I know how to do it. It's proprietary. It's ultimately nobody's business of how these things are made, and no one can copy my tech. But let's look at some of the units here, and we'll start with the very popular Scion generator, which we have now put back into production and are ready to go. And here's the handheld unit, a beautiful handheld unit, using, again, tube amps, but by using the actual, and what you get with the unit is a key. This is the key to activate the generator. This is an activator disc. Now, the activator discs, and we've done this so we can work very efficiently. This is real tech, people. Not the fact that we build something from scratch and set up a giant factory. No, that's idiot tech. I mean, anybody can do that, and it really serves no purpose. The whole idea is to do things efficiently, to make quality products that work well at the best possible price. Really, that's a definition of true capitalism. Instead of just overpricing, which a lot of people like to buy overpriced crap that's really not made well. The only well about it is an outrageous price that really doesn't produce much for it. They're rich people toys, and they, of course, steal from you so they can buy crap toys from other people. Now, what we have, of course, on our disc is we have multiple. This one has one activation rate for the Scion generator, and this is very specific for this unit and this unit only. And if the model changes, this has to change as well, and so does a lot of the internal, which we'll talk about as well. So the discs are product specific. So if you have a particular type of product, that has to have a particular type of code. And what we're using now is even multi-codes because it's very important. So you also have underneath here is laid in here is all sorts of empowering images, shape vibrational power, creating shape vibrational empowerments. So it's the design itself that draws energies, and these are defined as sigils, talismans, etc., which the actual shape of it, and even being one-dimensional, draws energy to it for a specific purpose. You further define it with the amount of number rates. Now, a number rate represents the subatomic energy that is in this particular unit, which we are then activating by this disc and the sigils inside of it. On the back here, we actually put into there a coded tones and special information of a unique nature. It is not information that is classically used in computers, which doesn't work well. Digital information does not work well in these processes because it's distorted information. Digital information is taking regular information and cleaning it up to produce certain results. This is bad for the process. So you have to use special type of sound waves, special types of, quote, high-level frequencies to create that. So once you have that, then you basically put the unit on the disc when you first use it for 24 hours. We usually include with it one of our tachyon, neutron, and graviton discs as well. And you can see for each energy, there's a specific rate for it. Now, these again are energetic fields of the smallest and difficult type. So what we're picking up here by using the rates and channeling it in here. So these kind of energies are perfect because they are, tachyons are faster than light, and neutrinos and other things. Well, these are very difficult energy fields to grab and so forth. And we're grabbing a tiny bit of those energy fields and channeling it in here because it does help the function of scalar fields for manifesting. So it's just as simple as that. And once after 24 hours, this is then ready to use. Once you finish using it, and this is a unit that is for particular situations, you hold it with your two thumbs and you project into it your thought forms for whatever it is you want to manifest, whether that's a job, whether you want a stock to go up in value, whether you want to restore well-being to somebody. It's just that simple. And you use it. And that's the beauty of this. And this is meant to be carried with you. You can use this at any time. Let's say you're getting on a plane, or maybe you're driving home in bad weather. Well, you would sit in your car before going and you would say, "Bring me home safely." And of course, that's what it's designed for, to use it at a particular, use it on a particular person, place, or thing for that particular moment. It's not really designed to be your all-encompassing unit. We started out this way to a certain amount, but the whole idea is you need to have an official machine to use for your day-to-day or your long-term manifesting. So it's just simple as that. It's also recommended to use one of our sacred energy plates. This creates a sacred spot wherever you put it. Then you put your stuff on top of it, and you're ready to go. A fantastic unit. By eliminating a lot of accessories and other things, we've been able to bring the price of this unit way down, so it's now affordable by everybody, and it's something everyone should have. It's nice to have one of these giant units you see here that are very powerful, but it's also very nice to have a little pocket unit that you can use. And as he said, these are very affordable now as we got rid of a lot of the extra stuff going with it. So we have the same thing here for in terms of it. Now, if you use any component, you have to transmute the electronics, and that includes lasers that we offer. If you just get a laser like this, you're not going to get good results with it because it's just picking up regular energies, and these are going to have minor effects. Of course, you need the activator disc, and here we go. We have activator energies that you don't see here. You have the code here to activate it, and it's as simple as that. Again, you just place this underneath the laser, leave it there for 24 hours, and you're ready to go. But generally, what you do with this is you leave the laser on this permanently. As I said, you've got to, at the subatomic level, actually smaller than that. It's just the energetic levels we're talking about, the scalar energy levels that you're activating here. And you can't use regular tools to do that. So if you have a regular unit that is amplified internally by some little chip in some sort of radionic unit, well, they haven't transmuted that energy that the radionic is putting in. So it's quite a process to do all that. Photons and the carrying of energy through photons is a fascinating area, something you're going to be seeing us coming out with a lot of in the future. But there's a special way of doing it, and this is only known to me. So I'm the one who's put all the time and energy and all the money into doing this. And really, I'm the only one that has the consciousness and the advanced engineering skills to pull this off. Look at the garbage on the market. Look at the old crap put out by so-called organizations producing machines that are based on technologies of literally almost 100 years ago. Look at all the junk out there, the garbage that started off as shoebox models by ignorant people that know absolutely nothing. And it goes into that. So the point is that there is nobody in this field that knows what they're talking about other than myself. And as I said, I'm the only person with the background to do it. Everybody else really has no background at all. As far as I'm concerned, they're all shysters, liars, and pretty much the entire industry is being controlled by a lot of nefarious people. And it's really sad. And there isn't really anybody out there that's well studied. If they know something about a unit, they only know about that. And a lot of these buffoons have supported people that are out and out criminal and evil, and they're too stupid to reject these people. So we see this constantly from these losers that are out there that have absolutely no background whatsoever in this technology. They copy, they have nothing new, and they're putting out and copying designs that are basically 100 years old. So it's really sad of the state of the industry. But transmutation is critically important. So if you're not transmuting, and we have two amplifiers here. And these are beautiful amps. Again, nice metal cases that we have here. Very well made, nice dials. A bank of 4 on here, and there's special internal here. The same thing here, which is a special tube amplifier. Very well made. These are different power points in terms of the kind of watts they put out of empowerment. And of course, when you're dealing with certain audio frequencies, there is a certain compatibility with these audios, these sound waves that are created, these sound digital programs to a certain extent. That is very similar to Scalar. So this is one way, and that's the reason why once you transmute them by using a disc. Now, if you're going to use something like this, well, if you think you're going to go out and buy something like that and just use it, well, you're going to get minimal effects. And you got to know how to connect it, where it connects, what antennas to use. All of this is very, very critical, and it takes skill and knowledge. And you really can't do that. You can't build your own instruments any longer unless you want to build a very primitive, basic unit that is nothing more than a psychic crutch. And if you're really going to do that, don't even bother. Get a symbolic unit. We do have pendants and necklaces that you can get that are really nice systems that just have, but are empowered while they're symbolic in nature. They also have lots of sigils and empowerments in them that you can't get anywhere else. So these are all the very unique product line that I've developed over the last 40 years, which are now available to the public. But as I said, a lot of people think that these are regular electronics. They're used in regular ways. Well, they're not. None of it is used in the regular way. How we feed energy into the units and how we extract energy from it, how we use it as a carrier wave, what type of antennas, what type of attachments, how we do it, and how we feed the energy in. This is all very exclusive and only known to us. So buying these things on your own or thinking that you can expand these things yourself is just not the case. Now, we do have actual components that you can upgrade any machine with. And that's because you're going to get one of the transmutation. You're going to get transmutation discs. You're going to get empowerment discs. You're going to get tachyon discs. This is with your amplifiers and transmitters and other things that we use. You're going to get what makes them work, which is exclusive to this organization. If you try and just use anything off the rack, you're going to find out that the fit is pretty poor. It's not going to work well. All of this is worth a relatively small investment for a lifetime of empowerment. In the future, those who are empowered, those who master manifesting technologies are going to be the ones who survive and prosper. And things are going to get worse and worse as the entire world wipes out its entire middle class. And there's just really going to be a rich class and a few people that they support with it. Well, if you're going to be one of those people that survives and prosper, and this is going to be on a spiritual level, not just a financial level, it's also going to be on a well-being level. We are having people out there drop like flies now as we have a huge sudden death jump, which is quite frightening of what's going on to people that have been going through the trauma of the last few years. Are you going to be one that is going to suddenly die? Or are you going to be the one who has built up your informational force energy fields to strengthen you so that when these strange things happen in your energetic bodies, that you're able to transmute them, to change them, to empower them to keep you alive? I mean, that's how serious a lot of this happens. Now, this is all based in the vibrational energy, the homeopathic reality of life, which is the core where everything comes from. Scalar fields or force energy physics, as it's called as a study area, teaches you of all this. Everything comes from these non-electric fields. The scalar fields, as you can call them, create the electromagnetic fields. So the whole idea is use the original energy, the force energy involved, and use that for anything you need and desire in life. That's the key. This is now a possibility to use these energies, and we keep growing and empowering and coming out with better technology every single year. Right now, we have a fascinating and powerful line to soon be released that will be using all of these things. And of course, everything's important that you take every step. If you don't use transmuted electronics, you're not going to get results. It's as simple as that. You're going to get poor or no results. Or what happens with most people is they fall back into strictly using psychic crutches. The other thing is you have to use multi-rates with so many things now, which people have ignored. Now, machines are designed to take one rate in them. This is a great disadvantage when using multi-rates through our systems where you use boxes to insert discs is super effective, while these single rates are pretty ineffective and really don't work that well. Uh, and of course, nobody really understands this other than myself. The entire industry is made up of some of the worst scum on the planet. These people write books, they run organizations, and they are dangerous and evil people. So, support the good guys. Make sure that the tech gets out there to people. Make sure you support us. Make sure you empower yourself and don't get caught up with the garbage that's on the market today using very primitive technologies, if any, going back to basically designs that were created in 1920 or sooner and never really went anywhere, never were developed past that. Well, here is the 51st century, the 50th century, I should say, technology that is now being offered to the public. And the professional models that have come out can be for the person who wants to be a good student, it wants to be a master, because there's lots of little things that you can do with the technology if you're interested. But I always design technology in two particular ways. First of all, I always design technology so you can interchange or change out components. Things can break. Better technology comes along. So you change that particular one item out for a better one. And this is true. What you're looking at right now is very advanced technologies that just came out this year. So it is exciting. What are you going to do? You're going to work with the same old stuff? Well, the bottom line is like with programs and computer programs, new everything, new designs. Well, things constantly are evolving. And we never really know what's going to pop out on the market. These are new items that popped out on the market as well. Well, you want to use them, and we transmute them so you can use them for scalar radionic broadcasting. But the whole idea is that's one of the main areas that I've always done. Keep things component based. If they break or there's a problem, and of course, units like this and the tubes tend to last for many, many years, where you never really have to change them out anymore. Tubes rarely burn out any longer with the new tubes that are being used and the electronics that handle them better. So that's very important. So you can always update and upgrade your units. And of course, you can add on to whatever unit you have now. You can add on using our discs to send energy wirelessly from your unit into our units, into our components and amplifiers, using lasers, etc. You're really foolish. Now, a lot of people have machines, and your average dial machine is okay. It's not really a scalar machine, but you certainly have that, and you can get much better results, double and triple the power, by just using upgraded components. Because the people that you bought from really knew nothing. But, dials in a box are not really unique. Everybody's got the same things, even though my new dial boxes will be very advanced. But they've never changed, and they never will. There's nothing in radionics that has evolved past the original designs done by Ruth Drown. Plain and simple. Nothing has been added until I started adding lasers in the 90s and using fiber optics and other things. And of course, the technology back then, because of the primitive lasers that were available back then and the high cost of fancy lasers or more powerful lasers, that's no longer the case. So if you're not using lasers to push the energy into your unit, if you're not using a transmitter to get the energy out of the units and flowing to the target, if you're not amplifying using tube amplifiers, then you are missing the boat. You are just doing psychic work. And of course, psychic work does work to a level. William Bankston has been doing it for 30 years, not using any kind of technologies or machines, and been able to cure people of all sorts of problems in the laboratory on mice and physical subjects. So the psychic tuning aspect of things does work, but it's primitive and it's limited and it has a much higher failure rate. The whole idea is to use technology to boost and project the energy that you want 24/7 without you having to strain all the time. And the key to that is the software, it's the rates, and of course, the hardware. Are your hardware putting out those vibrational energies to the level it should be? And that means getting down to a replicator reality, or being able to manifest in a very strong way most anything, instead of being able to change and mutate, let's say lead into gold. Well, you don't really have to do that. That's quite a process. But the bottom line is that you can make sure you empower yourself to make money in other ways that are much more traditional, but you can then be able to manipulate them. Now, life is not a magic lamp. You have to work with it. It depends on your life. You need to make sure that you're doing everything possible to manifest correctly. And of course, you have to understand all of the realities of life. Now, this is all laid out in the great course, which you'll find on our website, which is always being added to and built, where you're going to get all sorts of techniques to use the new tech and the old tech as well. And of course, as we have with on the institute, we have the Force Energy Institute, which specializes in scalar and radionic type technologies. We show you how things are built. We go into great detail, and we also show you there, particularly in the Institute, the disassembly of so many units. What's in there? What's in all these fancy dancy units that people have put out there? And it is quite shocking, and you don't know that. I've invested a small fortune in getting machines, almost every type of machine out there, from Abrams to Drown, to a lot of machines that have been made in the last 40 years, to see what's inside of them. The Copelands, the SE5s, all of that stuff I have taken apart and show you the guts of them. But this is for special people. This is something that has to be funded properly if it expects to continue. A recent acquisition from an original Delaware unit, which Ruth Drown taught how to make everything, is right here. And we'll be showing you the inside of these. And here's one of the classic units. There's certainly a reality that everyone needs to know. Well, what's in here? What did Delaware do? This is a classic instrument that everybody claims works so well. Well, we'll find out when we open it up. So this is an actual 12-dial unit, which pretty much is where Delaware ended up at, and where the Radionic Institute is producing as well. I mean, the Radionic Institute has copied this almost identically. And the bottom line is it's non-electric. There's nothing on here that's electric. There's nothing in here electric. Nothing plugs in. This is a grounding cord, which was something that recent manufacturers have decided to leave out, which I think is a mistake if you're using the old technology, because old radionic units are basically copies of crystal radios. That's what they are. So anybody who's done any kind of serious research, well, of course, that means just me, who has been doing this for 40 years, would understand that. So all of that is coming together, but there are very special processes that have to be done. Going out and making a primitive unit of your own is a waste of time. We're going to be coming out with books and little courses that you can use what's considered, quote, symbolic, or you're using just the shape, energy, vibration on paper, and show you how to do that if you want to get the lowest level. But we offer some basic manifesting units starting at only $100. These are fantastic deals, and you can get a professional model for under $300 of the simplistic radionic units that also include a laser. And these are electric units using special 8 hertz generators to manifest. And they're very easy to use, and they're very low cost. So there's something for everybody. Our professional units, using the kind of technology I've shown you here, are going to be much more expensive than that, and there'll be because these are for professionals that really want to get into this, and of course these components are not cheap. And if you want very powerful amplifiers, powerful lasers, powerful transmitters, everything costs, people. And while thank God for the Chinese, things are fairly reasonable. These type of tech and is going to take a little bit of an investment. But you have these units that I produced already for rock bottom prices that come, some of them even come with a one single little mini amp. This is a mini amp that you get in some of our packages. A damn good little amp. Of course, this has to be transmuted as well, that you get. So you get lasers, you get mini amps, and you get these things for unbelievably low prices. So cost should not be the problem. But if you're going to go out and make a shoebox design based on a 1970s book written by a Satanist deviant, then that's up to you, and you get what you deserve. Because not only are you turning your back on positive, good people, you're turning your back on yourself, and you're screwing yourself over to buy garbage from bad people. And we live in a society where you really have to be aware of whomever you're dealing with. And it's a sad, sad reality that we deal with today with what's going on in this entire field. But that has not stopped Off-World Tech as we continue to come out with the best of the best. And we always use the highest quality products and components available. They will last for years and years, so that you have great service from it. And they're all very reasonably priced, and you just can't pass it up. World is going to move into, everybody's going to have a little manifesting machine. And like this, you're going to have a cell phone, you're going to have your own little computer, and you're going to have a manifesting machine as well. This is the real future here, and it's already here. If you're not empowering your life with the correct technology, then you are going to fail. It's as simple as that. So people need to wake up and make a small investment into a lifetime of success, which you'll find nowhere else. So I hope you enjoyed this. Until next time. And remember, people, there is no reality until the manifesting scientists creates it.